Oh, wow.
It was the slap heard around the world.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
More than halfway through the 94th Academy Awards, something unbelievable happened. When Chris Rock strolled out on stage to present the innocuous award for Best Documentary of 2021, little did he know that less than 90 seconds later, he'd be consumed in one of the biggest controversies in Oscars history. You all demanded it, so here we go. Let's break it down.
All right, we are here at the Oscars.
Yes.
The Academy Awards have long been rife with controversy, whether it was Sacheen Littlefeather declining Marlon Brando's Oscar, Michael Moore getting booed for calling out President Bush.
Shame on you, Mr. Bush. Shame on you.
The infamous La La Land Moonlight debacle. See my last video for more. Or how about Anne Hathaway and James Franco's entire hosting attempt?
And it's been a great year for lesbians.
That's right.
Part of the reason why I watch this silly show in its entirety every single year is the potential of the unknown, the possibility of a wonderful or tragic surprise.
Welcome everybody to the Oscars!
All right, it's 2022 and we're back in the Dolby Theater after a lackluster COVID-affected 2021 ceremony that took place in a train station. That's a whole other story. And we're on to documentary feature. How about we introduce the players? Batting first is Christopher Julius Rock, an American comedian, actor, and filmmaker, a 4-time Emmy winner known for his biting stand-up routines, a run on SNL, and voicing an animated zebra. Up next, Willard Carroll Smith II, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, an American actor, rapper, and film producer whose projects have grossed over $9.3 billion globally, and he's the frontrunner for the Best Actor Oscar this evening. Batting third, Jada Corin Pinkett Smith, an American actress, singer, and talk show host prominently featured in the Matrix movies, and also diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called alopecia, which causes hair loss. And introducing Will Packer, an American film producer of movies like Ride Along and Girls Trip, and the producer of the 2022 Academy Awards.
Please welcome Chris Rock.
Yes.
Okay, out comes Chris Rock. He cracks a few standard jokes about the people in attendance, and he turns towards Will and Jada. But let's first go back to 2016. Can you guess who was hosting the Oscars that year?
Well, I'm here at the Academy Awards.
And can you guess who he joked about in his opening monologue?
Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
2016 was one of those infamous years where every acting nominee was white. Will Smith had starred in the well-received 2015 film Concussion, and many thought that he should have been nominated. Could this joke have been the beginning of a villain origin story? Only time will tell.
It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, okay?
All right, finally the moment here. It's why you're here after all. There are a lot of ways to look at this, so let's start at how American audiences saw it on the ABC broadcast.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it, all right? That was a nice one, okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith. Okay. That was greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
As you notice, the audio cuts out, the video jumps around a bit. This has to do with their 7-second delay and the technology behind that. This is clearly the directors or the network's attempt to censor something. But what happened? It looked like a comedy bit at first. Everyone is laughing, but Will Smith looked really angry in that brief shot at the end. Something's going on. A quick tangent here, if you're not familiar with G.I. Jane, it's a 1997 movie starring Demi Moore, who has a shaved head in the movie. Jada Pinkett Smith has her hair shaved because of her alopecia, which I mentioned earlier. So Chris Rock carries on. He's clearly flustered. He announces the award. Will Smith hugs the winner, Questlove, who then makes his speech. But let's look at Chris here. This is a confused man. There is no way that this was staged. I'm not much of a Twitter person, but I immediately opened it up on my phone, and bless the Australians who apparently don't care about bad language on TV, and the uncensored version started going viral. Warning, I'm going to play it here for dramatic effect, so hide your kids.
Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
There is clearly something wrong here. Will Smith just slapped Chris Rock on TV, silenced the Dolby Theater with F-bombs, and he's still a frontrunner for a category that hasn't been announced yet. There are many accounts, some conflicting about what was happening backstage after this. I'm sure it was chaos. Let's bring in Will Packer, the producer of the show.
Once I saw Will yelling at the stage with such vitriol, my heart dropped.
What is the right thing to do? Do you kick Will Smith out? Do you stop the show, send the hosts out, and explain what's going on? Really, everyone is just confused at this point, but the show must go on.
I said, did he really hit you? He looked at me and he goes, yeah, I just took a punch from Muhammad Ali.
According to Packer, he and the Los Angeles police officers in the building offered Chris Rock the choice of what to do.
You know, would you like us to take any action? And he said no.
Other reports say that the Academy executives asked Will Smith to leave voluntarily, and he refused. Forcefully removing him from the front row of the theater during a commercial break or whatever probably would have caused even more trouble. It's really a lose-lose situation for everyone involved.
I've been getting out of that Spider-Man costume. Did I miss anything?
There was an incredibly awkward vibe for the rest of the night. Sean Diddy Combs came out next to introduce a retrospective on The Godfather, because that makes sense. He tried to say something productive.
We're gonna solve that like family at the gold party.
Not sure how effective it was, and we can stop talking about him now. So the night trotted on. Will Smith was still in the front row, and out come Uma Thurman, John Travolta, and Samuel L. Jackson to present Best Actor.
Will Smith!
You can search for Will's speech on YouTube if you really want to see the whole thing. He went on for 5 minutes and 20 seconds about family and protecting his family and the Williams sisters.
I want to be a vessel for love.
He vaguely apologized to the Academy, but did not specifically mention the Chris Rock moment.
Hope the Academy invites me back. Thank you.
The aftermath of the slap is a tangled web that's hard to fully grasp. Despite everything that had gone on in the Dolby Theater, Will Smith was spotted later in the night at an Oscar party dancing with his statue to Gettin' Jiggy With It, which is his own song, by the way. He did issue a formal apology the next day on his social media channels, and later in the summer, he released a 6-minute video on his own YouTube account.
There is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment.
Smith resigned as a member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, and then the Academy later announced that he had been banned from any Academy events and programs for 10 years, though he can still be nominated for an award, which is kind of weird. It was later revealed, or perhaps re-revealed, that Jada and Will had been separated since at least 2016, and remember, this was 2022. In fact, she openly admits to having a relationship with one of their son's friends, which the two of them then talk about on her Red Table Talk Facebook show.
I got into a different kind of entanglement.
The whole situation is way too complicated for this video. It's unique, to say the least.
Bad marriage for life.
A few more things. Smith appeared on The Daily Show in November of 2022 to hash it all out a little bit more.
That was a horrific night. You know, there's many nuances, but at the end of the day, I lost it.
And there's Chris Rock, who remained generally quiet about all this, but finally talked about the situation in his live 2023 Netflix special, Selective Outrage.
I've got smacked in the fucking Oscars by this motherfucker. And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts. And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people.
To me, after reading and watching everything about this, it seems like this was a case of a lot of things building up and culminating at the wrong moment. Tragic past, complicated relationships, a stressful shot at Oscar glory, and one improvised joke about a 1997 movie that no one cares about.
G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it.
To wrap things up, Jimmy Kimmel returned in 2023 to host the 95th Academy Awards. I'll give him the final word.
If anyone in this theater commits an act of violence at any point during the show, you will be awarded the Oscar for Best Actor and permitted to give a 19-minute long speech.